What to do with lumber pricing and other material volatility in 2021. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Claudio, owner of WinRate Consulting and host of the Big Stud Podcast. Right now, lumber pricing is obviously like the most marketed and talked about issue, but generally it's material pricing across the board. And it's not just the construction industry. I have clients in several industries where they're having issues getting their hands on everything. So what do you do about it? The first thing is accept the fact that you can't physically do anything about it. You can just mitigate and create some contingency plans around it. That's the first step. You can't fix lumber pricing. You can't pretend it's not going to impact you, so you have to take some action on it. So the first thing is have more direct expectation conversation with your customers before the contract. Like immediately make it part of your sales process and just look at no, hey, understand that material pricing, material shortages, availability is all negatively impacted right now, from the manufacturers, the logistic companies, to our local distributors. It's hard to get your hands on affordable products right now. So set that expectation from very, very early on in the process. Second is make sure your contracts have a material pricing clause in there that protects you for when material pricing changes between contract and production. If you, for instance, we'll use lumber as the example. You sign a contract with the lumber package, you priced it at $30,000 and you go to actually order it. Now it's $60,000, which is real. You just lost all your profit from that project. You can't operate that way. That is the client's responsibility. You have to have some sort of clause in your contract. I'd suggest reaching out to your attorney. If you don't have a contract, let's start there. If you don't have a contract, let's get one of those figured out. But definitely make sure that you have a material price adjustment clause in there. My suggestion is if pricing fluctuates by 5% or more, that price adjustment gets passed on to the customer. And it's a dollar for dollar. I don't need to make markup on that material. That's my opinion. Some people would disagree. If I priced with a markup at that price, I just want to make that original markup. I don't need to mark up the additional cost. So whatever that change order is, it's basically just dollar for dollar what the price is. And obviously if pricing goes down by more than 5%, that should be passed on to the consumer as well, because at some point stuff should come back down and your markup stays the same. The price per square foot or the price per product, whatever's coming from the distributor or manufacturer, that's the price it should adjust. Something else, like third thing, I guess, that you should be looking at is contingency planning around what would our business do if we could not get access to the stuff that we need to build? Because I think it's going to get worse before it gets better with appliances issues, lumber issues, cabinets, countertops, just logistics. Like having enough drivers to get the material around the country is a challenge right now. So I've actually been asking a lot of my customers to sit down with their team and think about if you could not get what you need to do business for let's say a 60-day period. Hey, all lead times are 60 days. You can't get lumber, you can't get drywall, you can't get appliances, you can get nothing you need to do business for 60 days. What would you do to stay afloat? Who would stay? Who would go? What work would you do? What work would you not do? How would you mitigate that? Because I truly believe it's going to happen. Like if you look at like cars right now, like cars are not coming off the assembly line because they can't get the $5 computer chips they need from overseas. If you look at a lot of car lots right now, the lots are empty. If you would have told a car dealer 2 years ago, imagine if you had no cars to sell. They'd have been like, no way, that would never happen. It's happening right now. So you have to look at what would my business do if I could not get my hands on the product that we need to deliver what we're offering now. I think this is one of the most powerful conversations. I'm calling it the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot program, like something like, hey, all right, we're implementing a WTF plan because it's time to make a pivot. But if you don't have your WTF plan built out, your Whiskey Tango Foxtrot plan built out, the team doesn't know what to do and you're starting from scratch to build it out. It's coming, okay? I truly believe it's coming. I think the challenges are going to get worse before they get better. So you have to have you and your team understanding what are we going to do when this happens. You can say, if this happens, I believe it's a when. That way you guys can implement together. You can pivot immediately and implement what you want to do to help overcome that, to keep yourself afloat and cash flow positive. Because even if you get all the contracts in the world for the price you need, if you can't get the product to install it, you're not getting cash flow. That's how that works, and it's going to crush a lot of people. So first, start having conversations better. Second, make sure you have it as part of your contract. Third, start building some contingency, WTF plans, if you were not able to operate doing what you're doing now, because it's coming. I believe it's real, and I believe it's not a matter of if, but when. We cannot get our hands on what we need to do our jobs. You saw it with gas. You saw it with toilet paper. You're seeing it with cars right now. It's happening all over the place. I don't believe our industry is immune to this, and I think it's something we need to be talking about. So if you want to talk about that, reach out. Hit me up on Instagram at WinRate Consulting. I'd love to talk to you about what you're doing and what your contingency plan would be, and helping you figure out some alternative forms of income so you can keep your business and keep your overhead afloat, because I don't want to see anybody go down because of lack of planning. Again, Mike Claudio, WinRate Consulting, helping you win fast and win often.